Hey everyone, my name is Rob. I'm a former military guy turned entrepreneur and attorney. And when I say a former military guy, I was a major in the United States Marine Corps, and I am currently a practicing attorney. And today we're going to be talking about the secret to trading up for a better life. And we're going to watch one, two, three, four, five, about six videos. And through those videos, you're going to know for certain how to trade up for a better life. You're going to get some ideas anyway. And you're going to know the proper mindset to have in order to get what you want out of life. And without further talk, let's take a look at the first video. And that video is how three how to get rich. So let's see if I can find this video for you. Okay, just 1 second here. Not sure why this isn't on here, but that's what happens when you're doing a live stream. Anyway, have you ever thought about abundance? And when I say abundance, do you have an abundance mindset or a scarcity mindset? And there's a big difference between the two of them. With an abundance mindset, you're not interested in limiting how you think or limiting what you want to get out of your life. Just hold on 1 second, please. Here we go.
Do you want to be the first millionaire in your family?
So I got this video off of TikTok, and I believe that this man is a financial advisor. Uh, and you to see, I'd like you to pay attention to see how this guy is dressed and how his facial expressions. He's not dressed in a three-piece suit, and he doesn't have a big smile on his face. If you walk by him on the street, you probably wouldn't think that he was a rich guy. But I believe that this man is rich, and I believe, if I remember correctly, he has something to do with stocks. And stocks are an excellent way to increase your wealth. But let's listen to what he has to say.
Want to be the first millionaire in your family? Here are my 3 best tips to help you achieve it. Number 1, start investing early and often. And don't listen to the fake gurus that tell you need 20 to 50 grand to get started. That's just bullshit. Find a way.
So I agree with him. He's saying the best way to get rich is to invest early and often. And he says that you don't need $50,000, $100,000 to get started. And he's basically following the advice of a guy that I read a long time ago. His name is J.L. Collins. And what J.L. Collins did was kind of brilliant. He wrote a book called The Simple Path to Wealth, and I would highly recommend that book. And J.L. Collins invested early and often in low cost index mutual funds. It's a powerful way to reach financial independence. And let's face it, we all want to wake up one morning and be suddenly rich. But 9 times out of 10, maybe 1,000 times out of 1 out of 1,000 times, that's not going to happen. We all want things quickly, and that usually doesn't happen either. But the bottom line is you can either start or you can reach where you're going to be in 10 years without having anything. And the simple way to get started is like this guy says, and that is to start early, start investing early. And he's saying, I believe, low cost mutual funds.
Want to be the first millionaire in your family? Here are my 3 best tips to help you achieve it. Number 1, start investing early and often. And don't listen to the fake gurus that tell you need 20 to 50 grand to get started. That's just bullshit. Find a way to save $50 to $100 a week starting out, and let compounding do the rest. And
Compound interest is great. I mean, if you look at mutual funds, if you invest, he's saying $50 to $100 a week. Now, if you did $100 a week, you invested $100 a week into a good mutual fund. At the end of 1 year, you would have $5,200 in principal anyway. He's saying that the magic of compounding works to increase that 5,200 to an amount that's higher than 5,200. So you invest $5,200 over a period of a year into a mutual fund. Usually mutual funds will have a dividend that they pay 4 times a year. Let's say you get an extra share 4 times a year. So at the end of 1 year, you have 4 extra shares. And those 4 shares are worth, let's say, $100. That means at the end of 1 year, you would have 5,200 plus $400 that you invested, and you just traded up for a better life with passive income and the magic of compounding. So compounding is a very, very powerful passive income tool, and it will allow you to trade up for a better life. Now, if you multiply that compounding by 10 years, at the end of 10 years, you're talking over $50,000 plus the compounding of that, which I don't have a compounding calculator in front of me, but you can imagine it's going to be worth a lot more than the initial $50,000 that you put into that mutual fund.
number two, you have to change your mindset. When you get money, rather than thinking about what can I buy, think about how can I invest it. And number three.
So that's a powerful, very powerful mindset to have. And that is, instead of being a consumer, be a creator. And that's a mindset I have personally exercised in my own life for a long, long time. So let's take, for instance, Black Friday. One time somebody asked me, oh, they said to me, I saved 25% on Black Friday. Got a great deal. And I said, well, yeah, I saved 100% this Black Friday. You know how I did it? I didn't buy anything. In other words, be a creator, create wealth. Don't just use your money to buy worthless gadgets and things, expensive cars. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything. But if you're creating wealth through investing, through businesses, through real estate, through even your job, and you're taking some of that money that you made in your job and you're investing it into stocks, mutual funds, bonds, businesses. Let's say your friend has a business and you have a job and you can't leave your job to go and help him. Maybe you can invest in his business or her business. So you can see that there are multiple ways that we've already discussed this morning on how to trade up for a better life. So one of them, there goes my light. Wait 1 second so you can see me. There we go. The magic of lighting. So where was I? You can see that two ways that you can trade up for a better life, and that is investing, starting off early and often. You don't need a huge amount of money to do it. And secondly is changing your mindset, not just having a positive mindset, that's great, but also using that mindset to be a creator of wealth, not a consumer.
Swap out 3 time sucks, you know what they are, and use that time to learn 2 new skill sets. If you do this for 3 to 6 months, you can easily add 2 more income streams and you'll be on your way. All right.
So he's saying to eliminate 2 time wasters in your life. So if you spend 2 hours on social media, use that 2 hours on social that you would have spent on social media to learn a new skill. And there's ways you can do that. I mean, instead of watching TikTok videos of people dancing around doing stupid things, you could watch TikTok videos on how to invest in mutual funds, Vanguard mutual funds, or how to buy fractional shares in a real estate deal, or how to invest your money in stocks. Uh, the magic of investing in mutual funds now, you'll see a lot of videos on let's say, uh, YouTube, and they could be on investing in Tesla stock. Now, Tesla stock, in my opinion, is a great stock. Apple stock is a great stock. Alphabet is a great stock. It takes a lot of money to invest in those types of stock. I think I looked at Tesla the other day, and it's in the $200 range. It might be more today, I don't know. If you look at a Vanguard index 500 index fund, so a mutual fund that invests in the top 500 stocks in the stock market, you'll see that Tesla is in that mix of stocks that mutual fund invests in. So if you buy $100 worth of Vanguard mutual fund that invests in things like Alphabet, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, then that $100 is buying you fractional shares in those great stocks, and you don't need $200 to go and buy Tesla stock outright. Now you could do that the same thing on an app like Webull, and you could buy fractional shares in Tesla. But the beauty of the mutual fund is that the mutual fund managers are going to weed out the losers in those index funds. So if Tesla drops, to some kind of catastrophe with Tesla and they drop out of the top 500 stock rankings, they'll drop that stock. If you bought a fractional share on Robinhood or Webull, those apps where you can buy fractional shares, and the Tesla stocks goes down to zero, then you lost all your money. But if you diversified your money into a mutual fund, then you actually wouldn't have lost all your money. You just, because the mutual fund managers would have gotten out of that stock right away as it went down. So this second video we're going to
Three
see
things rich people do
is
that
this
they
woman
do not
talking
want
about
you to find out. Number one, we never pay full price. When you shop,
three things
consolidate
rich
with
people
a
do.
store or one shop assistant.
Okay, wait
That
1
way,
second here.
you make sure you get the best possible deal. Number two, go right to the top. When I go to a restaurant, I ask to speak to the maitre d'. When I go to a
Okay, I want to listen to this over again. But what I'd like you to do is take a look at this woman. All right, do you remember what that guy looked like that was an actual millionaire? If you don't, let me just put him up.
Do you want to be the first millionaire in your family?
So look at him.
Here are my three
He's
best
a
tips to
millionaire.
help you achieve
He's
it.
a real millionaire. And let's take a look at this
Three
woman.
things rich people
She's
do
claiming
that they
to be
do
a millionaire.
not want you to find.
And she's saying there's three things that you can do to get rich. Now look at her. She has a blue blazer on, which kind of gives off the vibe that she's rich. She has big earrings. She has a lot of makeup on. She has her hair pulled back, and she's sitting at looks like a mahogany desk, a fancy desk, and she has a fancy background behind her. Unlike background I have behind me, and you can't see my desk, but it's not fancy, and my chair isn't too fancy either. But look, let's listen to what she has to say because it's kind of interesting to compare it to what that other guy had to say.
Things rich people do that they do not want you to find out. Number one, we never pay full price. When you shop, consolidate with a store or one shop assistant. That way, you make sure you get the best possible deal. Number two.
Okay, so she's saying in order to get rich, or what rich people do, is that they don't pay full price. I'm not saying to be foolish and go out and pay the maximum amount you can for an item that you could get for a lot less. That's not going to make you rich. Skipping a coffee in the morning, I mean, it does add up, and you could use that money to invest in businesses and real estate, mutual funds, and stocks and bonds. But she's claiming that rich people and save money. They become rich. She's implying that people become rich by saving money. That's not what that rich guy that we just saw said. He said the way rich people get rich is investing. That's the first way that they get rich. And they don't start off rich. They start off maybe with a job, a regular job. And he didn't say well, he did say to invest $50 to $100 a week. I'm saying invest, even if you have to invest $10 every paycheck, at least get in the habit of transforming your life, trading up for a better life, for a richer life by doing something, by taking action. And I'm giving you an actionable step. And the guy that we just saw beforehand gave you an actionable step. And that is to start taking some of the money that you're making and investing it in safe investments, like a safe mutual fund. And I gave you the example of the J.L. Collins, who wrote the book, The Simple Path to Wealth. It's a great book, and I would recommend, and I could recommend some other books for you, but start off with The Simple Path to Wealth. It's a great way to kind of get your mindset in the abundance mindset of that you can do it. You can trade up your life for a better life. And it might seem impossible now. It might seem like it can't take place. But again, if you don't do anything, if you don't take some action, if you don't do something, in 10 years, your life is going to be the same way it is right now. It's not going to be the same way it is right now if you take some action. And one simple way that you can do that is to start off by figuring out how you can invest some of the money that you make into an asset that's going to make you money. She says to save money and you'll make money. That's what rich people do. I don't even think that this woman is rich. If she is, she could fool me.
Go right to the top. When I go to a restaurant, I ask to speak to the maitre d'. When I go to a hotel, I ask to speak to the general manager. Why the maitre d'? Why not the waiter? Because he's the person singularly responsible for making sure you have the best experience. Number 3.
Okay, now, again, contrast what she said in her second point, which was when she goes to a restaurant, she goes right to the top and she asks for the maitre d', or she goes to a hotel and she asks for the manager. To me, that would be a waste of time. And secondly, the first point that she made was that she looks to save money. Why would she, if she was rich and she wanted to save money, why would she be going to a restaurant that had a maitre d'? Why wouldn't she be going to the local restaurant, fast food restaurant, and ordering online to save time and or having it delivered to her house if she wanted to save money? Rich people, as we saw from our first video, probably would not do that. They wouldn't bother with a maitre d'. And if she's rich enough to go to a restaurant that has a maitre d', then she doesn't have to go to Costco and save money by bulk ordering or trying to get the best deal she possibly can. So again, I don't think this woman is rich, and if she was, I wouldn't take my advice from her.
We cultivate our relationships. So that maitre d', that general manager, that person who made sure I had a good time will receive a thank you note from me, a card at Christmas, Hello, how are you doing? Thanks again for all your help. I really appreciate it. That way, the next time you visit the establishment, you're well taken care of.
So that has some validity, the third point that she made, and that is to cultivate relationships with people. In other words, networking. I don't think you have, I think it's just courtesy to give, to, if somebody gives you good service, to recognize that service. And she's saying to send them Christmas cards and such. Again, if you're wealthy enough to have a maitre d' and go to fancy restaurants, and you probably have somebody in your life that could write thank you notes for you. But networking is important. And Grant Cardone had a good point. And I always think of this when people kind of warn other people, well, don't talk to strangers. Grant Cardone taught his daughters, apparently, and I don't watch too much of them anymore, but I used to watch a lot. He said that he his daughter was on the he was on a plane with his daughter, an airplane, a jet, and he was traveling not on a private airline because he has a private jet now, but he was traveling commercial. And his daughter wanted a cookie, and Grant claims to have said to his daughter, "I don't, I don't have a cookie. Uh, go out, go down the aisle." He said, "Strangers have everything you need," to his daughter. "Go down the aisle and ask somebody if they have an extra cookie." And he sent his daughter out to find extra cookies. So the point is to network with people that you don't know. I mean, she knows the maitre d'. If she goes if she actually does go to restaurants, the maitre d' isn't going to introduce her to her next winning stock pick, or the maitre d' isn't going to introduce this woman to a business owner that's going to invite her to invest in his business or her business. But if you go out and network with people, if you go to social events, if you go to meetups, let's say, and meet other entrepreneurs, yeah, then you're going to meet people that you might be able to invest with, that you can pick their brain, not pick their brain, but get friendly with them and understand how they operate, understand how their mind gets to the point where they can spot opportunities. So she has somewhat of a point in her last point about networking. And this next video is called Shut Your Mouth. And the reason I added
Buying
this
a
video
house?
on here
Shut your mouth. Buying a
was
new
that,
car? Shut your
let's
mouth.
stop this. The reason I added this video on her here was because I see a lot of times on Twitter that a lot of guys post that in order to get ahead in life, that you shouldn't tell other people what you're doing. And there again is some validity to that point. And that is, if you tell everybody what you're doing, it's like, okay, well, these people are going to put me down, or they're not going to support my idea, which isn't necessarily true. But let's listen to this, and you tell me in the comments.
Buying a house? Shut your mouth. Buying a new car? Shut your mouth. Getting married? Shut your mouth. Going on a holiday? Shut your mouth. Got promoted? Shut your mouth. 99% of the time, the reason that our dreams don't come true when they are supposed to is because we open our mouths too soon to the wrong people at the wrong time. We were wrong to share our successes with people who claim to be friends. Remember, envy and jealousy are enough for people to feed off of and tear down. So, buying a house?
I thought this was a pretty interesting video simply because it was made by artificial intelligence. And I don't know about you, but I'm really into artificial intelligence. I use it every single day. And it's so great for creative people because we can get video ideas, we can create video with artificial intelligence. But as far as what this artificial intelligence character is saying, and it kind of looks like Warren Buffett, which I think that's what they were trying to go for with this look. I don't have people like this in my life, and if I did, I don't have people that would put me down or would be envious of me, as far as I know. Uh, so I'm not too concerned about telling people what my plans are or what my hopes and dreams are, especially the people that I trust. Certainly not going to post it on social media what my plans and hopes and dreams are. uh, For the most part, anyway. I will give you some insight into my life because I want to get you to the point where you can trade up for a better life. And that's what this live stream is all about, trading up for a better life. So let me know what you think in the comments about what this guy is saying, what this artificial intelligence character is saying about keeping your mouth shut. Uh, and it has some validity because it kind of gives you more of an incentive if you keep what your plans are to yourself so you can just do it. Just go out there and take action. If you want to start a business, do it. You don't have to get feedback from other people and you don't have to seek permission from other people to get your plans out there and start doing them. Because 9 times out of 10, people aren't going to give you permission anyway. They're not going to say, wow, that's a great idea, Rob. You should do it. It hasn't been my, that hasn't been the way things have worked in my own life. I mean, I was in the Marine Corps and people, the other Marines in the Marine Corps didn't say, hey, Major, go out. That's a great idea, Major. Take that hill. That's not how it works in the Marine Corps. In the Marine Corps, that's an idea for another video. But basically, in the Marine Corps, in basic training anyway, the drill sergeants tore down the personalities of all the recruits or the people going through basic training. And at some point, you're wondering to yourself, or I did anyway, when are we going to get built up again? And that never happened. And that comes, the confidence I learned in the Marine Corps comes from within. It doesn't come from somebody else. It doesn't come from drill sergeants. It doesn't come from anybody saying, well, that's great. You did a really good job. That would be nice if somebody said that. But a lot of times that's not going to happen in your life. So the point that I take out of this, looks like a Warren Buffett video, is that go out there, do what needs to be done, take action, and transform the life that you have right now into something better. And if you're just joining the stream, the videos that we saw started off with a real millionaire saying to invest and to have an abundance mentality by being around people that are going to support you. So let's take a look at the next video, and that would be men. Most men cannot do this. And this was an interesting video because I renamed my YouTube video channel from Personal Growth 2.0 to not Tyrone, not Chad, not 6 feet tall, but better. So for most of us, we're not Chad, we're not Tyrone, and we're not 6 feet tall or more. We're just regular, average, everyday guys that can go out and do massively great things in our lives. And we don't have to be super handsome. We don't have to be super tall. We don't even have to be super intelligent. We just have to get out there, get off our butts, and use the brain matter up here that God gave us, the creativity that's in everybody to make yourself a better life. And there's so many ways to do it now. And just look online. I mean, what an exciting time to be alive. if you look at artificial intelligence, it's moving so quickly. And next year at this time, we might have artificial general intelligence, which will allow everybody to have a better life in ways that we couldn't even imagine. And I won't even get into that, but I am optimistic about life. I am optimistic about 2024. I can see nothing but goodness coming into our lives. And again, we don't have to be Chad. We don't have to be Tyrone. We don't have to be 6 foot tall. But we do have to have a mindset that, a confident mindset that we know as men that we're able to take action, use our creativity, use our intelligence to go out there and create a better life, to transform the life that we have right now to a better life. And not just settle for a better life when we have a better life, but to make it even better, to continually improve our lives for not only ourselves, but for the people that we love, our families, our parents, our children, our spouses, our community. So it's not selfish to want a better life. It's actually for the good of other people. So don't be afraid if you're under 6 feet tall and you're not striking.
14% of men are over 6 feet tall. 17% of men make over $100,000 a year. So 6 feet tall and $100,000 a year, it's 0.17 times 0.14. It ends up being like 3% of men or something.
So he's saying that most men aren't over 6 feet tall, and most men don't make over $100,000 a year. I hope that the people that watch this channel do make over $100,000 a year. If you don't, then you should be if you continue watching this channel. But I did the math, and he said that if you multiply I think it was 1.3 to times 0.14, it equals 3%. And that's correct. Because if you watched the beginning of this live stream, you would have seen the video of the actual millionaire and the second video of a woman who claimed she was rich and saw the difference between both those people and how they actually looked. And it was a striking difference. And the actual guy that was a millionaire didn't look like a millionaire, and you would pass this guy on the street and not even know that he was a millionaire. And if you looked at the woman in the second video, well, you might think that she was arrogant. I'm not sure if you would think that she was rich. I wouldn't, and I wouldn't care if she was rich, but he's saying that 0.3% of guys are over 6 feet tall and make over $100,000 a year.
Like that to 1 point, some ridiculous number below 3. That's the number of men that are over 6 feet tall and make $100,000 a year. You're talking about hookup culture. The average man in the U.S. is like 5'9" and makes $49,000 a year. Okay, that's what we're saying, is that the majority of men do not get to participate in this hookup culture. There's a small group of men that's happening for, and so when women are blaming them, yes, I understand that Brock the bartender, you friend, your sister, and
okay, this video isn't actually about hookup culture, but the point that he's making is that he's saying that a minority of men get a majority of the women. The way that I look at this is that who cares? I mean, if you're watching this video and you're a subscriber to my channel, you're going to understand that it doesn't matter. We don't care what other people are doing necessarily to get women or how women think. Our main function, our main focus is to get ourselves in the best possible position in life so we can get a better life and transform the life that we have right now into a better life. And that can be done, and it can be done, and it doesn't have to be too complicated. And if you didn't see the beginning of the video, I would encourage you to go back when this gets posted online and take a look at the simple secret that the first video provided. So the point in this, the couple of points is, it doesn't matter if you're over 6 feet tall. Doesn't matter if you're not strikingly handsome. You can do just as much in life if you're under 6 feet tall and just a regular average guy, because that's how most of us are. We're regular, we're average, but we can use what we have to make it extraordinary. And that's the great news. That's the good news. And it's going to happen for you. And I can show you how, and I have showed you how, and I'll continue to show you how. So the next video, and we're going to end with this video, and I thought this was pretty interesting, and it will kind of wrap this up, and that's to have an abundance mindset. And I was thinking about this yesterday because I just spent a lot of money, and let's take a look at this because I'll explain this in a sec. Let's turn this off.
When you go to the grocery store and you spend $200 on groceries and it stresses you out and you feel like, damn, I just spent $200 on groceries. Well, no, you didn't. You spent $200 and you exchanged that energetic currency for $200 worth of health and wellness and nutrients. So every time I spend money, I'm not thinking like, wow, I just lost that on something. No, I traded it for something that's the equal value. And so
So think about that. And I think if you get into that mindset of creating money, which is nothing, it's created out of thin air. And I could actually explain how money is created, but it's kind of an interesting way that money is created. It's created through debt. And it's all around us. And it's just like the air that we breathe. We don't worry about how we're going to get our next breath unless you have some medical problem. And you're not worried about how you're going to get your next drink of water when you can go to the sink and turn on the water faucet and water comes out. So you're not worried about that. A lot of us are worried about where we're going to get the money that we need to spend on the things that we need to spend it on, like groceries and the gas bill and the electric bill and the cell phone bill and the car payments. And it's not trivial. I mean, we do have to actually spend that money and we need money to do that. But a good way to look at that is, wow, I have enough money. I can exchange this digital, because really what it is not even paper for the most part anymore. It's digital digits in some bank that debit or credit your account. Usually don't even see the paper money anymore, but we can use that to trade it for groceries. And those groceries, we eat the delicious food that we buy, and it gives us energy. And it's the same thing with the car payments. We didn't have car payments, we wouldn't have cars, we wouldn't be able to drive around. So think of money as a medium of exchange and be grateful when you can spend the money and use that money to exchange it for things of value. So look at the first video about the actual rich guy, contrast it with the video of the woman who claimed she was rich, and then look at this video of this woman who makes a really good point about mindset, and not some la-la, new age mindset about, oh, if I think hard enough, this stuff is going to come into my life. But a mindset that says, I am lucky that I have money and I can exchange really what comes down to worthless paper for good food, for delicious food, for a nice car to ride around with, to heat my house, to air condition my house, to pay for the water that comes out of my faucet. You get the idea. It's really a good mindset to have, and I think this woman is kind of spot on. And let's listen to what she says in the end of this video.
thinking about it like that, my abundance never lacks, right? It never goes away because whenever I spend money, I still have it.
Yeah.
It's everything. When you go to the grocery store,
So she's saying that she still has the money, and that's true. And I was thinking about this yesterday before I even saw this video. I had a big expense, and I had to, pay for it. And I was thinking, well, there goes a lot of money out of my checking account. And then I was thinking to myself, just like she said, and I saw this video afterward, that it didn't really go anywhere. It did go from my checking account to people that I spent the money on, but you know, it got transferred to something else. It's like the transfer of energy, and I don't want to get too technical, but Einstein said that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So if you look at energy, if you look at a wave, for instance, and that wave has energy in it, like in an ocean wave, and it crashes against the shore, well, that energy gets transferred from the wave to the sand and the shore. It's just like money. The money that you take out of your checking accounts gets transferred to somewhere else where you can enjoy that fruits of your labor in something else. So in this example, the girl says that she took the money and bought groceries. She still has value in the groceries. She eats the groceries and gets energy. She uses that energy to think, to create videos. And those videos she posts on YouTube or TikTok, and that makes her money, and that money goes back into the bank account. So she's creating something in a circular fashion, and you can do it too. So keep that mindset in mind, and you're going to transform your life to the better. And I want to thank everybody who's tuned into this. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you didn't see the beginning of the video, I would encourage it. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Rob. I'm a former military guy turned entrepreneur and attorney. I was a major in the United States Marine Corps, and I am a practicing attorney and YouTuber and creator. So if you want to get better at life, if you want to transform your life to the better, I would ask you to subscribe. You won't be sorry. Take it easy. Have a good day.